British actor Sir Michael Caine, star of Zulu, A Bridge Too Far, The Dark Knight Trilogy, and more, was a combat infantryman in C Company of the 1st Royal Fusiliers in 1952 during the Korean War at age 19. In 1952, Caine was called up to do his national service for the British military. Between 1952 and 1954, he served in the British Army's Royal Fusiliers, first at the British Army of the Rhine's headquarters in West Germany, and then on active service in the Korean War. After the end of the Second World War, the British Army of the Rhine was stationed in Germany as an occupation force. After serving in Germany for only a few months, Caine opted to transfer to Korea during the war. Going into combat would turn out to be an experience that Caine would never forget and change him forever. Caine landed at Kure in southern Japan and underwent 2 weeks of combat training. After this, he was sent to the South Korean front near Busan. The front was unlike anything Caine had ever experienced before. There were hordes of rats and vast swarms of mosquitoes, as well as an ever-present stink of human excrement used to fertilize in the fields. And of course, there was the presence of thousands of North Korean and Chinese soldiers bent on killing Caine and every other soldier opposing them there. He spent his first few nights in a trench on a hill around a mile from the Chinese lines. On his very first night, he witnessed a Chinese attack on a position to his left. He watched with both awe and horror as the Chinese troops, who were clearly unafraid of death and fanatical in their cause, charged head-on into ongoing machine gun fire. He would end up being on the receiving end of more than one of these charges while manning an American .30 caliber machine gun against the Chinese forces. Some nights he would go out on patrol, and these were the most terrifying experiences that he underwent during the Korean War. Sometimes, the enemy bombardment of the trenches would continue for up to 24 hours without pause. Caine would simply lie in his camp bed in the bunker listening to the shells whining and exploding and wondering how he was going to get out alive. On one occasion, he came alarmingly close to being killed. Caine and 2 other men were out on patrol creeping through the elephant grass at night. They suddenly heard the telltale clicking of rifle bolts snapping shut all around them, accompanied by the hushed voices speaking excitedly in Chinese. They were surrounded, heavily outnumbered, and all 3 men were convinced that they were about to die. In that moment, however, Caine recalls that he felt no fear. He decided that whoever was going to take their lives were going to pay dearly. So the 3 men charged roaring maniacally in their voices against the Chinese. The Chinese opened up, but they were firing at the place where Caine and his companions had been a few seconds earlier, not where they were running to. The British mortar spotted the Chinese muzzle flares in the darkness and opened up, scattering the enemy. Caine and his friends managed to get back to British lines and live to fight another day. Caine had thought that he was going to die in that moment, a memory which stayed with him and had formed his character. In his 2010 autobiography, The Elephant of Hollywood, he wrote that the rest of my life I have lived every bloody moment from that moment I wake up until the time I go to sleep. Having been previously sympathetic towards the ideas of communism, Caine was left repelled by it after seeing firsthand how the Chinese used human wave tactics and was left with the sense that communist governments did not care about their citizens. Did you know about Michael Caine's previous experience in the Korean War? Is there more that I left out? What is your favorite Michael Caine movie? Let me know in the comments below, and thank you for watching.